Preseason. Grade 8.
What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the NBA panel. We've been gone for a
It's good to be back.
little too long. Welcome to episode 43 of the Grade A Show, the basketball side and segment of the panel. Y'all know we've been having football going on and stuff like that. Make sure y'all keep up with that. In the meantime, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, continue to share because that is only going to allow us to drop more content and allow us to grow. Yo, what's good, fellas?
What's going on?
NBA's back, man. I see the Knicks shirt on.
Of course. I mean, I see the Celtics background, the Celtics flag. Dre got the Nike shirt with the blue check.
It's basketball time, man.
Hey, now it's almost there.
Georgia State going on. I feel it, man. Alum. Yo, before we get into, of course, we're gonna be talking about the Karl Anthony Towns trade. We know that's big, and then we also gonna be discussing what are our top 5 starting 5 lineups going into this season. Okay. Did y'all catch any preseason games yesterday? I know the Celtics played Denver.
I caught the beginning of the Minnesota and Lakers, but I feel like, and we was talking about this previously, preseason gives you, it's just a feel. Shake off the rust. We're playing against other teams now. You have the starters are solidified, like LeBron, AD, and Ant-Man didn't even play. I thought it was interesting that Michael Conley was still playing. Him and Rudy Gobert played. On the other side, of course, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, and Rui Hachimura played. They know they're in the starting lineup. That's been solidified. But I guess it's just to get the reps up. I feel like preseason is when the bench and then those other guys on the roster really compete for minutes. But at the same time, they're nervously shooting because it's like, there goes my contract. There goes my minutes, instead of really just playing and let the game come to them.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like I probably watched. I turned the game on. Right, I didn't even watch the whole game, the Lakers and Minnesota game, but specifically Rui, D'Lo, and Austin Reeves. I know it's the preseason, fellas, but it really didn't look like to me that they really progressed on any type of fundamentals when it comes to the basketball game. They're just chucking up, throwing up shots. They're kind of not letting the game come to them. And it seemed like they was in a rush a lot. Again, I know it's the preseason. Everybody, it's going to take time. People got to get wet under their feet a little bit and stuff like that. But they looked like they was moving a little bit too fast for themselves.
Look at us, coach.
They used to having the ball, boy. LeBron ain't on the court. I can do whatever I want.
And that's the sad part, man. And to Mike's point, it was kind of cool seeing JJ out there coaching and stuff like that. I don't know. When I turned on the game, I was like, I kind of wanted to look to see how he looked on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? What was his cues and all that stuff. So it's weird, but it's kind of cool to see JJ over there on the side. So I mean, shout out to the Lakers this year. I ain't gonna be watching him like that. I don't care.
Disrespectful. Well, they still got my viewership. It would be crazy, interesting if one day he subs himself in, even though we know that. Get a corner three from this spot, I got you. You know, like that would be dope. But nah, we know that ain't happening. But
Yeah, one thing
that's one of the top teams that I'm looking forward to watch. But I'll wait till we get to that.
Oh, so you're already considering LA a top team?
Well, that's a team that I'm watching in my top viewership. Like
you're a top team.
It piques his interest.
They have my interest. Thank you, Mike. I can get into it now. How you want to do this, man? Like,
you know the Lakers has your interest. That's your boy LeBron, man. It ain't.
First off, before we get to my boy LeBron and everything like that, I meant the Chicago Bulls, but I got the Knicks. Derrick Rose plays for this franchise. Shout out to Derrick Rose, one of the biggest what ifs of our generation. Truly a remarkable talent that I feel like we didn't get to see bloom into what he really could have been. Still electrifying. Derrick, your point guard can't guard me, Rose. You hear me? Because man.
Let me ask y'all this, because I did hear this conversation this past weekend.
Don't do it. Don't do it. The Hall of Fame.
It was a little blasphemous to me, but people were trying to compare prime Derrick Rose and prime Stephen Curry. Who would you take? I don't think it's disrespectful. I just don't think prime. Okay, let me ask y'all this: what year would you consider Derrick Rose's prime?
I would say MVP.
Okay, now what year would you guys consider Stephen Curry's prime?
Unanimous MVP. It wasn't unanimous MVP?
I personally think the year with KD.
I think it was that 20. Yeah, that the unanimous was one of them years with KD, right? Or no?
I thought it was without him. That's the year when you needed a three, he got you. That's the three when it was like Curry from three, bang, like against OKC and 3-1 them. Like
all
was
like
that 2015 maybe?
I want to say 2015, 2014.
As an all-around player, I liked him better in 2022 when they won the chip. He was more of a complete player.
Okay,
that's when I liked him. But I mean, who would I take?
I want to say comparing an athletic guard to like a skillful guard, well, a shooting guard. I would have said comparing Derrick Rose to like a prime Westbrook, a prime John Wall. That would be like a different conversation.
Yeah,
Curry is like
it just didn't like
one will dunk on you and one will shoot on you. Like
you don't need to be comparing people like Derrick Rose and Stephen Curry.
I mean, you can because like.
No, but look, you comparing a 22-year-old MVP to what when did Curry win his? Like 28, 26?
And then
understanding of the game is different. The knowledge of the game is different between them times.
Yeah. But I mean, shout out to Derrick Rose, man. Definitely he played for a lot of teams, had an amazing talent. Unfortunately, he had a lot of injuries and stuff like that. But we know what really could have been done over there in teams like Chicago and stuff. And I even thought he was a pretty decent piece for Memphis. He just, with Ja over there and stuff like that, it was kind of, and, he was already past his time. So it wasn't really too much that he could really try to move up in the scale as far as his talent wise and stuff like that with barely any minutes and stuff. The Celtics played last night. Wait, before we get into that, I just want to call somebody out real quick because they did say they was going to be here on the show today and they're not here. So King, you're going to have to do some laps. You're going to have to do some push-ups because you vouched to people and you said you was going to be here and you ain't here. So let's move on.
Last time we saw him, he picked Mavs in 4.
Yeah, so there's a reason why he's not on this show today, man. But I'm calling you out, King, man. Now, hopefully we get him in future episodes and stuff, man. Yeah, Celtics played last night, and Draco, we had this conversation yesterday about Peyton Pritchard. He balled out. He seems to always do his thing and really show who he is as a skillful basketball player when he has time. And the Celtics really started implementing him into the lineup starting last season a lot more than they did in previous years. And again, it's only the first preseason game, but I didn't watch the whole thing. I only seen the highlights, but he was a big part of that rotation and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to him, of course, this year. I'm high on the Celtics, of course, as y'all know. Going for a 2-peat back-to-back. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be interesting, man. Let's get into it though, fellas. Karl Anthony Towns is traded to the New York Knicks. How y'all feeling about that? Mike, go ahead. I'll start with you.
Um, I'm a big Julius Randle fan. No, I think I've said that before on this show. So I personally think Minnesota got the better end of the deal because look at DiVincenzo. He's a sniper from deep, and as I texted you about Pace, so I think Mike Conley is a good trade piece at this point because you were trying to have Ant play the one last year. Yes, he had a lot of turnovers and the shooting wasn't necessarily there, but I think you could get a nice another big man to back up Rudy possibly to complement Randall if you traded Conley, because yes, he's a very important part of the team, but now you have a deep back a deep guard situation. So I would just go out and trade him. And then for the Knicks, I think the Knicks they have a little bit of you got to worry about their depth because Thibodeau likes to run his players into the ground as we've seen last year, but they showed some good pieces off the bench in the playoffs. We'll see how that translates to this year, but I think both teams will benefit okay from it, but in the end I think the Timberwolves will win this trade.
Yeah, and I'll let you, Draco and Ace go, but I just pray for health as far as Julius Randle.
Yes.
I definitely think they would win the trade if he stays healthy, but something in my mind kind of tells me he's in a new situation now. I don't know, maybe he might take it differently as far as his health wise. But the man Julius Randle, he's in shape and stuff like that. It's just unfortunate situations that he's in where he gets these lingering injuries and stuff. So. Go ahead, Dre. How you feel about the trade?
I like it, man. I like it for the Timberwolves because to me, Julius Randle is more of an aggressive scorer than Karl Anthony Towns. He put force on the paint and all that. Towns gonna get lost in that Knicks offense and media and all that. They're gonna tear him to shreds. I don't think he's gonna survive over there, man. He ain't. Let's be real. He was the guy over there. He ain't win no all NBAs, no nothing. Julius at least got one under his belt.
It's crazy. I'll let you go, Ace. We talked about all last season on here on the panel how we wanted to see Karl Anthony Towns on a new team, and now he's finally. I like him on the Knicks. I just at the same time I don't. I just don't like for him to be because Mitchell Robinson most likely is coming off the bench. I don't think it's going to be smart for New York to pair him with Mitchell Robinson and try to do the whole Rudy thing like they did last year. I just don't think it's going to work. But I do think that's going to hurt him because when you go against guys like Embiid, Porzingis, even Giannis is going to most likely be guarding him, or Brook Lopez and stuff like that. I still would take all those guys over him. Miles Turner. As far as bigs in the East right now, Bam Adebayo and stuff like that. So, he's not high on my list as far as bigs in the East.
When you look at his height and his skill set, he's supposed to be torching them for real. But he just weak, bro. Can you forget he's 7 feet?
And we got a lot of stretch bigs over here in the East too. So that's only gonna work but so much.
Yeah, but remember with the Timberwolves in the playoffs, he starts to settle for the three. Once they told him, you're the best 3-point shooting big man, he just settles. You gotta attack the paint.
Go ahead, Ace. How you feeling about the move?
I'm to agree with Dre's point. Well, first off, I feel like trading your second leading scorer, your second corner piece of a month before the season starts was like a red flag. He didn't know, he wasn't aware, but that lets you know that they were always constantly trying to get better. They chose defense and Rudy Gobert, and now they have a second aggressive scorer. I feel like it was good to keep Mike Conley. That way, he's a stable piece on any franchise he's in as far as a point guard. And Ant-Man can really just focus on just scoring. Of course, his occasional passes to get the team going. But him scoring and then with Randle on the block or in a three and everything like that, that goes. Now, Randle's in a situation where he's been on the Lakers, the Knicks. Media is not a problem. Karl Anthony Towns only been in the media against key matchups versus Embiid or in the playoffs. Now you're in the New York pressure, the New York skylight, the New York media constantly. You can't be soft with the media. Let's see if he's really putting up, 1,500 shots a day, 1,300 shots a day. Like Dre said, now you got to start making 1,500 shots a day, not just shooting them. I feel like he would have to. It'll be demanding. He played under Tom Thibodeau before, so he kind of understands what to expect. I wish DiVincenzo would have stayed so that Villanova, they could have had the chemistry. But he went in more of a role, so I mean, I hope he gets the minutes that he deserves over in Memphis. I'm not gonna say New York is gonna just take out the Celtics right away, but there's gonna be some work. They have a month to get together and everything like that. Plus, not with just them two. I want to see all teams. At one point, the Stars are gonna have to play in preseason to show us that they've been working out, going through the plays and everything like that. That goes for LeBron, AD, AE, everybody.
Yeah, it to me it's just not like it's not scary enough, and we all know how it is in the NBA when you have. All right, we talk about Jalen Brunson. He's an undersized guard. We know what he could do on the offensive end, of course, but defensively, when you're going against guards like Derek White and Drew Holiday or Tyrese Halliburton, who seems to be getting a little bit better on the defensive end. Just strictly talking in the Eastern Conference, you got Tyler Hero. I think guys like those is going to be guarding players like him. I just don't think that it's gonna be like effective enough when it really comes down to it in the playoffs. And when he is out, or when again towards the end of the season last year, a lot of injuries came up for him and stuff like that. So when he's not hitting a bucket, it's like, okay, just like you mentioned, Julius Randle was the second best scorer, but he could do it from inside. He could do it from outside. He could turn offense from defensive plays and stuff like that. And I don't see somebody like Karl Anthony Towns being able to replace that. I do think New York is going to be in that same top 3 seeding, but we'll get into that in like a future episode where we think these top seedings are going to be, because I think it's going to be pretty shaky. A lot of teams like Milwaukee, I don't think it's going to make it in the top 3, top 4. We get to the West and it's going to be a little shaky, man. But I just pray for health for both teams. I would like to see both teams move far, and that'll be great to see. We got a special presentation here. He actually showed up today, so I gotta take back what I said, I guess.
Oh,
He showed up. King, what's good, my guy? How you doing, man? You might need to get your see if you're muted. Can you? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Mic settings.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Y'all need to be acting like
Whenever you get that together, just say something. We here. But yeah, I just pray for health for both teams, specifically Julius Randle. I love him over there with Ant-Man. DiVincenzo is kind of weird.
He's a shooter though.
DiVincenzo's a dog.
Yeah,
he's the hustle point, like the 6th man over there for sure.
I just really like best shooter.
Yeah. But allegedly, Minnesota couldn't afford the contracts with them just signing Naz Reid, and they had to make a move. So it was kind of weird how that transaction happened right before. King, you hear?
The third team was
If you got a headset, King, try to connect your headset to the iPad.
Nah, we can't hear you.
Nah, we can't hear you. Yeah, try to fix your settings from see if it's connected to like a Bluetooth connection, somebody else's Bluetooth connection or something, and maybe take the Bluetooth connection off. But yeah, do y'all think that Karl Anthony Towns like really makes a difference in the East for the Knicks? Like, we know that they was the 2nd seed, correct me if I'm wrong, right, last year?
I want to say so.
It's top 3.
I believe so. So do y'all think that he really moves the needle for them moving forward?
And if he, play with some oomph, bro, like all that 3 us from the I mean, get me wrong, the 3 helps, but it's like, all right, bro, you got to get inside, get a layup, a dunk, show some New York pride, man, show some heart, something like. Now that back to that him and Embiid rivalry, there's been calm. You got to get in, you got to get you some of that.
I think. No, I definitely think what you mentioned too was really big with the New York media, and a lot of people like I think cities like that, Boston, LA, I think is going to be real tough on him. So I'm interested to see how he reacts to that.
I think one big thing though with all teams in the NBA, whether it be the West or the East, and we're seeing it in the NFL right now, availability is your best ability. You've got to stay healthy. Look at all the injuries we had last year. So if the Knicks can stay healthy and the Celtics get a few injuries, and say a few other teams do, that's going to switch everybody in the conference
Good comment by the
around.
viewer. That's a good comment by the viewer.
No, I agree with you, Mike. Vux T, shout out to you. He said Carl offensively really affects the Knicks. However, when it comes to defense, it's not going to look pretty. And I agree. I think it really depends on the rotations as well, too. Again, you put him out there with Mitchell Robinson, depending on if you're going. I don't know. I don't really see that lineup even happening against any matchup because we're not dealing with that anymore in the NBA as far as like two bigs. And Minnesota was the only team doing it.
Tom Thibodeau is a defensive coach. However, like I said, you traded a piece like this a month before the season starts. Like, yeah, he came. It only helps that he came from his type of coaching before, so he kind of know what to expect. But then again, I'm caught up on plays. The NBA kind of starts in October, but it really starts in December. Everybody had their lineup set. You know, your first, second, third option. It's like it's different starts. I feel like that's why the in-season tournament was great because you create that urgency early to be competitive. No? Well, no, I know, Dre. What's up?
Nah, King
Nice,
was
man.
King's connected.
I'm listening.
But you brought up something about the Milwaukee segment, and after New York, I want to dive into that because me and Draco have some type of questions, comments, and concerns about that.
Oh no, we could definitely talk about it. We could definitely talk about that. But yeah, no, just leave a comment down below. How y'all feel about the Karl Anthony Towns trade, man? Do you like it or do you not? Yeah, let's get to Milwaukee. I think my main thing I wanted to ask you guys was we're a couple of days ago, official year into Damian Lillard being traded over there to Milwaukee. So how do you guys still feel about that trade going into this season?
I'll let Draco go first, Dre. Go ahead.
You let me go. Y'all could go. Y'all want me to go?
I'll start off if you want me to. I don't care.
It seemed like
I'll go there. Honestly, year one, there was some things brought to light how Dame is no slouch when it comes to his offseason workouts. He boxes, he raps, he runs. You know, he definitely shoots. However, when it became known that he wanted to be traded, Portland told him not to work out. You know, really to slow down on his offseason conditioning, which resulted on his play on the court. You know, he was tired out there. He wasn't really feel for himself. Granted, it's different from when you're the man and you could score 70 versus coming to Giannis's team and you take a back seat. That's a different ball game. His conditioning didn't even allow him to put the same productivity he would have. Now, whenever Giannis was out or in, whenever Dame scored 30 or more, they had a better chance of winning, and it was shown statistically. I just feel like this year he's had the system. Doc Rivers is there a full year. He's done the conditioning. This year I'm looking forward to a better output productivity from Milwaukee Bucks.
The conditioning part, I don't know. That man might need to work on that because I seen some stuff the other day where he was working out with a I forgot the freaking dude's name, but that dude was almost 50 years old. I got to get his name.
No. I know exactly what that man ain't human who he's working out with.
Hey, well, Damian Lillard picked the wrong one.
Nah, that's somebody you want to work out with though, because even with him, right, that dude does like some type of what's that race when you got to run 250 miles as a team?
So like a triathlon or something like that?
Yeah.
It's a race like that. He ran it by himself versus teams and like came in second. That's not no normal person.
I don't know. I ain't gonna hold y'all with this whole Milwaukee thing, man. I just think they're getting old.
You can't blame Dame for it, right? There was a top 2 seed. They got rid of the coach that they had, right? When it came to playoff times when they really needed him, supposedly, Giannis even playing the playoffs. And Chris Middleton was in and out of the rotations throughout the year. It was just team.
I don't really blame none of those guys over there at Milwaukee. To be honest with you, I just think that it's time for them to kind of separate. I think Dame was put into a situation where he's never had a co-star next to him, so he's trying to figure that out. And unfortunately, everyone's expectations for him to figure it out is like the snap of a finger, and they just think that it's going to happen, and it's not. That's how it works.
Peso, I'm only going to cut you off only because Dame starting out as a rookie, he was already like that. I'm not going to lie, rookie of the year like that. At one point, he had LaMarcus Aldridge, and LaMarcus Aldridge was getting to it. So it's just, I guess, Giannis is a bigger star than LaMarcus Aldridge, but you know what it's like to share the rock and share the ball.
Yeah, but
can I say this real quick?
Go ahead, Jerry.
Giannis isn't as skilled as LaMarcus Aldridge was. Safe to say.
And
also, the championship expectation was the only real difference.
What's good, Musa?
What's up, Musa?
It's the skill.
Consistency for Dame is a really big issue. I agree. Having the ability to play around another star and still put out that high level performance is something that needs to be worked on.
Let's think about it. You can't do a pick and roll with Giannis. You got to do the pick and roll with Brook Lopez because ain't nobody really had no faith in no Giannis off the pick and roll.
Man, that pick and roll with Giannis gonna do some damage.
Oh, here we go.
Now, what's up, y'all? Hey, don't do that talking, nigga. Greet your tribal chief when you see me. Greet your tribal chief when you see me.
See, I got my rock shirt on today. Hoping he's coming back.
The final boss. You must greet the final boss too. What's up, y'all?
Ain't nothing, man. Ain't nothing.
Oh
yeah.
What y'all talking on though? I got a few seconds.
Right now we on
part time.
Man,
how you? I'm full time here. You missed the part time. I work 25 and 8. What you
How do you feel about Milwaukee? How do you feel about Milwaukee Bucks for this upcoming season?
I feel like the lowest they can be is a 4th or 5th seed. I feel like the ceiling is 3rd. I don't know. I feel like if Giannis can be healthy, he can get you at least 30 to 35 wins, and then add Dame to that. They can be formidable in the East. But I do like some of the pieces they have.
Giannis missed the last 2 playoffs technically.
Yeah, he has.
That's the issue.
Unfortunately,
and that's the playoffs. So
that's the unfortunate part because he's been pretty healthy relatively the last few seasons in the regular season. He just can't hold up when it comes to playoff time. But I think this year could be different. I will say I like some of the pieces they did add when it comes to the perimeter defenders. I think they got Gary Trent, if I can remember. So I like what they can do. They added some shooting. It's just, can Dame actually buy into be somewhat of a solid defender because he's atrocious? But I think they can be a 4th or 5th seed at the lowest.
King, you here? We can hear you.
I'm
here.
What's good, man?
What's going on, baby? What's good,
we got boy? King on here. Oh,
glad to have him on the show. Yo, I think when I called him out earlier, something must have sensed and popped in his brain because he had to hear it. He's like, I gotta hop on here. I gotta get it going.
Nah, I told you I was gonna be on, so you know what I'm saying. I had to.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Real quick before Musa gets back out of here, I just want to know, like, a lot of the times when we talk about Dame and knowing what Dame could do. But can we also acknowledge the fact that Dame has been very inconsistent the past season or two? So how do y'all
inconsistent at what?
Exactly. Yeah, I was about to ask you that.
Like, at a lot of things, scoring.
So name a few things he's inconsistent at.
Basketball.
I mean,
has he been consistent at that? I don't think so.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think he was.
And defensively, and we know he's not really a defensive player.
So wait. When I say consistent, y'all talking about like his field goal numbers or something? What are y'all saying about consistency?
No, like being able to score the basketball, it hasn't been consistent for him.
He was getting buckets.
If I'm not mistaken, Dame was one of the top 25 scorers in the league.
Facts. That boy.
You look at the averages. I gotta look. As you know, I'm not on my computer, so.
Because who's consistent in the league? Let me know who's consistent. Then
I mean, there's a lot of
Giannis technically is.
There's a lot of players that weren't consistent, but specifically Dame Lillard, and we could talk about towards the end of the season. We could talk about the first round in the playoffs when they had to play Indiana. A lot of spurts we were seeing where Dame Lillard was just not scoring the basketball consistently. He was getting buckets. Yes, I agree, but not at a pivotal field goal rate that we are used to him seeing in past history.
That's fair. It's a different field. in that first round against Indiana. I'm sorry. My bad. Go ahead, Ace. If that was you talking.
No. Go, Trey.
I was gonna say yes, that's true, but can we also acknowledge in that first round, without having Giannis, they were able to scheme schematically, make it more challenging for him in that first round, and then I think someone else went down in that series too before he did. It was just bad on their end.
Are you saying Indiana came up off an injury?
Yeah, they were supposed to beat Milwaukee.
Okay.
What you gonna do? You gonna bring up regular season?
No. I'm just saying, a lot of teams came up off of injuries in the playoffs, and it happens. You scheme for players who aren't there, it makes it easier.
Yeah,
I
and
think
to be fair,
Indiana
everybody was hurt in this
4-1
playoff.
against them in the regular season.
Indiana torched them in the regular
Yeah,
season.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think they split though. Oh, it was a 3-1.
Nah,
regular
Indiana,
season.
Indiana, I believe, beat them.
I remember
3-1
Brooklyn.
or 4-1.
I think it was.
What Miami, LeBron, in the regular season, they got swept in the playoffs. So regular season really don't hold no weight. It's just with playoffs.
Dame came from a offensive system where it's like, all right, we're not going to defend you, we're going to outscore you. I feel like it goes back to the conditioning. Like, if you your off season goes into the season, but then even towards the end, you're figuring out your spots, your shots, things like that. I mean, this season, honestly, I feel like we should see a complete Milwaukee Bucks team, and if not, we'll go from there. And I can pass adequate judgment.
Yeah, the Pacers won 4 out of the 5 games that they played the Bucks that season. But I think one of those games, both Dame and Giannis didn't play, and one of those games most likely included the. I was about to say, yeah, one of those games definitely included the in-season tournament. I don't know. I think I hear your point with Dame, but it was times where Dame was in the system in Portland where they actually had one of the better defenses in the league. He was just one of the outliers. But like I said, we all know how bad Dame is on defense. I think this is one of the things where he can prove that he could be at least not a liability on defense, especially when he has Gary Trent there who can defend. But we'll see. It's up to Doc to put a great scheme around them, too. And let's not forget Brook Lopez, because he took a dip also this last season defensively.
Now y'all know y'all see Rondo over there now, so who knows if he might get a coaching job over there soon. And also, I'm hoping that he's over there and he could help out Dame a little bit more and stuff, just from an IQ standpoint and stuff like that. I think it's going to be pretty good for him. But yeah, before we move forward, King, how do you feel about the Karl Anthony Towns trade? Now New York Knicks.
I mean, I didn't like it at first. I didn't want what's his name, Randall. I feel like Randall put a lot of work in that team for him to just get, you know what I'm saying? They went to
Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like I don't like it too much. I would rather them keep Randall and what's his name, but Cat might bring something to New York that New York might need to get them further. You know what I'm saying? They got pretty close this time, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They busted their balls, but we'll see how Cat aligns with this team. I feel like Cat got to be more aggressive though. He's too lackluster.
We know you're not too far from the city, so you think the city gonna put some dog into that man?
They're gonna put a lot.
Man, Jimmy Butler can't get dog in that man. What you think New York gonna be able to do?
Yo, let me tell you something. New York fans is crazy. You feel me? New York fans is gonna get on his body. He can't be doing our little, you know what I'm saying, little crying and stuff like that, changing up his voice and all that.
He's from Jersey though.
I know. You gotta come prepared, bro. He gotta be aggressive.
Man, he from your city, man. You responsible for him.
Don't put that on me, man. That man can do that. Man gotta step up.
That's a product of your environment.
He didn't. Hey, Draco. He didn't get cut from that surf and Arsenal call-off. I see. He got some of that king side.
Yo,
hey, we got a lot of basketball to talk about in future episodes and stuff like that. But real quick, I want to move forward and
did y'all talk about the Knicks before I got on?
Yeah. You got an input on the Knicks? Knicks trade.
I feel like it was random at first when listening to it. Shout out to our boy Ifoji. If you know, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Can't say too much, but I will say I thought it was random, but when you look into it, it was mostly because of the cap. Minnesota was going to be over the second luxury tax, and they wasn't going to be willing to pay that much money for him, Towns, Gorbert, and McDaniels, because they was going to be able to lose some of their key players like an Alexander or Nas Reed. So it made sense from a cap salary standpoint. From a fit standpoint, I will say I like it, I guess. There's more spacing for the Knicks, but it's going to come down to when they get into that playoffs against like the Philly, Milwaukee, can their bigs be able to outmatch those teams' bigs? Minnesota might be slept on, though. I know we may not like Randall's play from the masses perspective, but he's still a 25, 10, and 5 guy. He can still space the floor. When you stagger him in Ant's minutes, he can lead the offense and run offense with a Conley and Gobert. I think they'll be pretty solid in the West. They got Dante DiVincenzo, another shooter, a defender. Someone's going to agitate other play on the offense. So I like the trade from both sides. And they got a first-round draft pick from Detroit in that trade. So I feel like on paper, at least, the Knicks look better. But I think long-term, the Timberwolves might win that trade.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm 50-50 both sides, man. But yeah, cause I know Ace got to get out of here soon. I know Musa got to get out of here soon, man. Real quick, is there any questions or concerns that you guys have going into the NBA season this year? Any teams?
Well, I'm not going to say question or concern, but I'm telling you right now, I say this all the time. Lakers have to keep a close eye on. All right, not only the new coaching system, but hear this, and this is going to be one key factor. I think, like respectfully, King, you're a father, active father, Peso, you as well. If you're playing in anything, and your child is watching, it brings a different animal out of you. If you're doing something, and your pops is watching you, that father-son is going to be the first father-son on the court. But I feel like that could ignite some flames on both sides. I feel like
the ball, don't nobody want to see that. I'm sorry, don't nobody want to see that. The boy Bray look like he could play in college. I don't want to see him on no NBA court.
He looked pretty solid in that preseason game.
Oh, yeah.
Better than that than he did in summer league.
I mean, 1 for 6.
Like his dad. I mean, well,
field goal wise, no. I'm just talking about how he looked more comfortable being out there as opposed to what he did in summer league. Now I don't put much stock into preseason, but at least he did look a little bit more comfortable.
All I'm saying is that's a team I'm keeping an eye on for that reason. Secondly, the Celtics, the Leprechauns. I mean, Boston Celtics. My fault.
Nah, you need to identify us as the NBA champs.
He can't utter those words.
That's what you got to say. The NBA champ.
Give him the big screen and let him utter those words.
The NBA championships Celtics.
That's hate.
The championship Celtics, right? They've been through a lot of not scrutiny, but division. Mentally, they're gonna have to be strong and tight because nobody want to hear that they're tired. They're gonna have to reshape that. You had the whole Brown not getting selected for Team USA thing. Tatum and how he feels. Derek White, Drew Holiday. Derek White getting into it with a fan in the baseball game or something like that. Like
no, it was
a Buffalo's game. The fan hit his hat off. That's all. It was nothing crazy.
Colorado.
It was nothing crazy. But however, I want to see how they react to this now. They finally got over the hump. What are they going to do this year? Are they going to make a break? Are they going to double? Are they going to repeat? Are they going to?
So let me ask you this, Ace, because you stretching this. Do you think the Celtics still got something to prove?
I feel like they do.
They do. They got a lot to prove.
What else they got to prove?
What they got to prove? I want to hear
this. Besides the finals, every team they played, somebody got hurt.
King, hold up. Oh, my bad, Ace.
Everyone was hurt in the playoffs. Porzingis only played
everybody was hurt. They ain't played nobody
say it again.
To win that chip. They ain't played nobody real to win that chip, man.
Okay, so Dallas ain't real now. I remember people in the media talking about Dallas was gonna beat them, but when they whooped that ass, now they all right.
I ain't gonna say Dallas wasn't real, but
they had a sweet win, man.
I just think
Dallas was the toughest. Dallas was their toughest opponent.
I think
I actually think the Pacers were their toughest.
Yeah, I think the Pacers were too.
Pacers was their toughest opponent. We're gonna be real.
I just think that everybody
Indiana let you play in defense.
everybody would be on the Celtics' neck right now if they would have got eliminated. But now that they win the championship, we can't give them credit for that. I get it. People
No,
will
hold on, wait.
I give him
Earlier in
credit.
the
He on the
episode,
cover
you
of
said
2K.
that it made it easier for Indiana to win against Milwaukee because they schemed for Dame because Giannis wasn't there. So why can't we just say? I just feel like this to eliminate me getting on y'all, the media, and everything. If the Celtics repeat, everybody's healthy. It'll be no excuse. Like it's no excuses now, but it'll be solidified. Like all right, you know what? They did it, ran it back, and everybody was there. Now what can anybody say?
So even if they run it back and people are injured, if that don't count either.
If they run it back and people are injured, they got to goddamn get some better trainers because after that 2 years in a row is insane for everybody to be hurt.
But you know what's funny? And this ain't even to the people on the panel directly. I'm just talking about the media. It's funny, right? Boston has something to prove still after winning this championship, but they didn't have the same energy for Denver. Denver played a Miami Heat team that was horrible. Like, let's be honest, that Miami Heat team was not better than this Dallas team.
Oh, we know that, but it was
but the energy wasn't the same with Denver when they beat them.
Some killers on the Western Conference. They ain't getting no
but especially how they lost to Minnesota. I do agree.
But they went against some killers, yes, but they went against the Lakers that year and swept the Lakers in four tough games. It's similar fashion with Indiana. Those games was not blowouts. Those are tough. Those are close games.
Yeah, we acknowledge it.
Yeah.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm not speaking to y'all per se, like you guys are saying. I'm speaking from the media. Cause I remember when Denver won, it was this notion that Denver had to prove themselves again was not out there like it was for the Celtics.
Shitting me.
One thing that they got to prove though is not as much as a team, but individually. Look at those big contracts that Wick just handed them out. Like I know he's doing that so his dad can't sell the team because he doesn't want to make it so it's not profitable. But prove that you're worth that money on an individual basis. As a team, they could probably got a little bit to prove, but nothing crazy. But individually, I think they definitely do, especially with Brown not being selected to Team USA. He definitely is gonna go out and try to prove something.
Yeah, okay. Never mind. I was gonna ask you a question when you said that, but what you just said at the end made sense. All right. Now I agree with you.
Like I said, fellas, we got plenty of time to talk about all these teams moving forward. But real quick, last segment of the day before we get up out of here. I want to know what is y'all top 5 starting fives going into next season. And if you could name a team, I could call out the roster for you. I have it up. And then if you don't know the exact starting 5, or you could just name out the starting 5 if you have it written down. So we could start off with, doesn't matter, either one of you guys. And I want it in order, 1 through 5.
I'll try my best because I wasn't expected to be on today, so I didn't even really come up with a list. But I'll try my best.
I'll start. I'll do my 5. Get it out the way.
Top 5.
So I got the Celtics at 1 with Porzingis being out and Horford at the 5. I got Phoenix at 2 with the new acquirement of Tyus Jones. I believe the lineup with them is going to be Jones, Bill, Booker, KD, and Nurkic at the 5. I got Philly at 3 with Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Paul George. I think Caleb Martin's going to be starting at the 4, and Embiid, of course. The Nuggets, can't leave them out. I got them at 4. I think Christian Braun's going to be taking Caldwell Pope's starting role. And then to finish out with my 5th, I got OKC. I think it's going to be SGA, J-Dub, Luke Dort, Chet, and then a new acquisition of Hartenstein over there.
So you didn't have the Knicks. Interesting.
Nah, to be honest with you, one of the reasons
that's going to be my first one, I think, the Knicks.
One of the reasons why I didn't have the Knicks is because I didn't like the starting lineup they had with Precious Achiuwa, whatever his name is, at the 4. And compared to my other 5, I don't think
I think that's probably because I think Robinson's not going to start the season.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I didn't have the Knicks up there. But one of you guys could go. That was next.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. You got it.
So for my top 5 teams, I'll do the starting fives after because they're a little different, but not too different. Top 5 teams, those Celtics at number 1, just until proven otherwise. Next, I'm gonna go with the Thunder just because I want to see what they do year 2 with that young core. 3, I know they've lost Caldwell Pope, but just the 2-man game between Murray and Jokic, I've still got to put the Nuggets up there. Next, I'm going to go with the Pacers because I think that young core, another thing, going into another year, I think they're going to bloom into something better. And then I got the Knicks at 5. But you want to talk about starting lineups, I still got the Celtics at 1 for the way they gel. I'm going to go OKC at 2 for the way that young core. 3rd on this one, I'm going to go with the Knicks because just of the star power. 4th, 76ers also with the star power. And then the 5th one, I don't know. I've sort of tossed that one up. I was going to say on paper Phoenix, but I until proven otherwise, I can't count on Phoenix to be a top team.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you. I'll let you guys go, but I just did my starting 5 as well as like the best roster wise on paper, what it looks like and stuff like that. Like teams like for me, Philly, they have a good starting 5. I just, I'm not too high on them. I like Orlando too. I wanted to put them in mind, but yeah. But go ahead, Ace, man.
So number 1, and I was a little unprepared. I'm going with the Celtics. Best record in basketball. They won the championship. They retained their roster. So I'm just go with that for now. Number 2, I have the Thunder. Young team was balling out, and I believe they added a key piece. Is it Hartenstein? Brave, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, he's on the calendar now.
So they added to their roster.
So too.
I'm going with the Knicks. Well, I'm going with the Knicks because they fought with their roster, and you added Cat.
Let me just throw out the projected lineup for the Knicks right now. It's Jalen Brunson, OG at the 2, Mikal Bridges at the 3, Precious Achiuwa at the 4, and Karl Anthony Towns at the 5.
So they're not starting. Josh Hart.
Yeah. Why would we start Achiuwa over Hart?
Right now that's the projected lineup. But
I feel like for size purposes and have Hart be that spark off the bench.
Yeah,
he most likely will end the game though, depending on the matchup.
Go ahead, Ace. I'll let you finish.
I want to say Timberwolves over Nuggets only because Caldwell Pope is in there, Russell Westbrook is, but that it ain't the same. When one person gets off and he comes back on, it's not completely the same. So I'm going to put Minnesota over Nuggets. Now, 5, I'm going to go with 76ers. The only reason why they were down, no way, I'll take that back. Milwaukee over 76ers. Now, we're talking about paper rosters. Like Mike said, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to just do Sacramento is highly slept on, replacing Harrison Barnes for DeMar DeRozan. I'm going to do 76ers on my paper roster and Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I saw Danny Green on a show. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and he's saying don't sleep on the Knicks this year. Or not the Knicks. I'm sorry, the Kings. They can make a lot of noise out there in the West. And he actually picked them to win the division.
They have Keenan Ellis starting at the 2, DeRozan at the 3, Keegan Murray at the 4, Sabonis at the 5.
I think DeRozan is gonna make a huge difference. DeRozan is gonna make a huge difference over there. He's consistent, healthy. His game is his game. It hasn't changed. King, you ready? You got your top 5 started?
Yeah. I'll do OKC because they're a young team. I like OKC a lot. I'm gonna throw the Knicks at 2 because I want to see how this new lineup works out. See how Cat does in there. I have that's 3. I got the Pacers. I like the Pacers little lineup. 4.
Damn, we not making the cut.
4.
All right, you ain't gotta put them in there.
I got 4. I got the Kings. I like the Kings, and 5. We got the boys. Celtics. Yeah.
I honestly like your I like your 5 because I like Indiana's starting 5.
And I like Indiana Farms too.
OKC, I think they're gonna be huge. Go ahead,
I was
Drake.
always a-
right?
If healthy, yeah.
If healthy. Yeah. I gotta get back into like. Go ahead, Drake. Go ahead, Draco.
1, I got OKC. 2, I got Celtics. 3, I got Orlando.
I like that.
4, I got Milwaukee. And 5, I got the Pelicans.
That young man is talking. That young man is talking. The Murray,
with Daniel Tice at your starting 5.
Daniel Tice not starting. It's that other dude.
Who?
Oh, the rookie from Baylor.
Yeah,
Rookie?
yeah, he's 6'11".
Rookie?
With some muscle on him, boy.
And this is Dre starting. This is Dre's pick. I like it.
I'm not mad at it.
You got DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and Zion. If healthy, that's tough to beat.
That is kind of tough to beat. Yeah.
The projected
Zion put in that work too. He lost a lot of weight and all that.
Yeah, ESPN has the Pelicans rookie at the starting 5. I mean, at the starting center position, so I don't confuse people.
I'll tell y'all what. I'll take one of my top 5 rosters versus any of y'all top 5 rosters at 2K, and I'll show y'all something.
Stick to Call of Duty, my boy. Meet up to the grown folks.
I'll show y'all something.
Musa, you got your top 5?
Top 5? Yeah, I got number 1 is clearly Boston.
Clearly.
They clear. They have the best offense and one of the best defenses. So I'm taking Boston at 1. Second, I'm going with OKC. I like the 5 that they have. Adding Hartenstein and Caruso is going to help them with defense, rebounding, size in the front court, and Caruso can knock down the 3. And Hartenstein got one of the best floaters as a big in the game. Probably one of the best floaters in the game from inside 10 to 15. So I'm going to take OKC at 2. 3, I'm going with New York. I'm assuming Mitchell Robinson will be healthy. So him at the 5, Cat at the 4. And then you got Mikal, OG, and Brunson. That's going to be a tough 5 to beat. 4, I want to go Minnesota at 4, but I'm going to go Philly at 4. And being healthy with Paul George and Maxey is, and then you got Caleb Martin, who is a good defender, can knock down the 3. I like the chances. And you got Kelly Oubre, who's one of the better wing defenders in the league. So I like that starting 5. And at the 5th spot, I'm kind of torn because I'm torn with Minnesota, Milwaukee, and Dallas.
We know if T-Top
Milwaukee
to be number 1.
Or
I want to go Milwaukee, but I'm also looking at the health. So I'm probably going to lean towards
Dallas.
I'm probably going to lean towards Dallas because I think that defensively they're not bad, but I think the offensive prowess is going to be able to help them win games. Like it's going to be most teams they're going to be able to defend Dallas, like Boston and Minnesota was able to. So I'm gonna go Dallas at 5, but it's interchangeable.
Yeah, right now they got Clay projected at the 3 starting.
At the 3. Yeah, at the 3.
You see the 4 rings tattoo he got. He's not playing with y'all. You hear me?
He trying to get another one.
Yeah, but my undisputed best starting 5 is Boston.
You know what? That 4 is permanent, meaning he ain't getting no more. That's it.
we gonna see, man. Like I said,
he cried.
We gonna see. Like I said, man, we got plenty of basketball to talk about in upcoming episodes. Everybody tuning in, man. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Tune in for tomorrow's episode, another episode of the Pick 6. Everybody enjoy the weekend. Have a blessed one. Peace.
Brady. Hey, run that thing up.